Hello and welcome back to Aetheral Space 7.20. The gang's all here. We are back.
I'm very tired. We're going to knock this one out of the...
This guy playing video games all day, and he's tired.
Okay, first of all, this whole last week been a lot of work. I've been lifting a lot, way too much for an IT desk job. I've been doing way too much exercise. And then second off, playing Elden Ring with Percy Peruvian is exhausting.
I know.
He is a huge dick. What?
You have to sprint to keep up. It's tiring.
Yeah, that's true. He drains your essence. But we're not here to talk about Percy. We're here to talk about Dragon. And I already see a dragon, so I'm going to fix that. There you go. I fixed it, don't worry. It was this one down here.
Don't worry.
Oh, wait, there's another one over here. Man, this guy.
This guy.
Okay. Dragon bobbed and weaved through the darkness, approaching the needlepoint tower in the center of the cradle. He hadn't trusted his Gemini world to get him all the way up here, so he'd liberated a moped and was using it to fly up to the top of the tower. The trip was mostly uneventful, discounting the occasional swerve to avoid one of the flying billboards that littered the skies. During that time, Dragon's mind was mostly focused on how exactly he'd get inside the tower. Things didn't seem right, though. Surely this tower should have been restricted airspace. Why weren't any security automatics coming after him for being too close? Dragon was unused to things being this easy. He didn't trust it. Potential answers to your question, the archivist popped out of his subconscious, sitting cross-legged on the back of the moped, looking out over the city as he talked. I gave it more than a second thought, unlike you, and there's two possibilities. Either you've overestimated the defenses such a facility should have, or someone's already disabled the automatics defending this place. Who would do that? Dragon muttered. He didn't bother asking why. The Hunter game provided a convenient motive for nearly everything that happened here. The archivist laughed. I see you're congratulating yourself on not asking a stupid question, right after asking a stupid question. It's not who would, there's no shortage of people, but who could? Dragon adjusted his course, circling... I love this. This is like a smarmy asshole trying to one-up himself. It's the worst. Dragon adjusted the course, circling the top of the tower in search of a... Yeah, I know, right? Circling the top of the tower in search of a convenient entrance. Someone with access to the cradle's systems. They'd have to be familiar with how the whole thing worked. Maybe they're even using silver vision to help with the Hunter game. I've been wondering how exactly they're tracking kills. Could be, the archivist shrugged. In that case, it'd be an inside job. By the way, how are you planning on getting in there? This place is meant to be staffed with automatics. There won't be an entrance for you. Dragon's eyes scanned the smooth exterior of the tower. Even so, there should be a maintenance hatch or something. What if there isn't? Then I'll make a maintenance hatch or something. How violent of you. Am I perhaps getting under your skin? Oh my god, this is literally you. You're the archivist. Dragon ignored his needly subconscious as he continued to observe the tower. It really was looking like he'd have to make his own entrance here, so he was trying to identify the best spot to blast through with a Gemini shotgun. There wasn't much in terms of indicators when it came to structural instability, but boom! The tip of the tower exploded outwards in a hail of metal and dust, with such force that Dragon was almost knocked off the moped. He clung on as the vehicle spun, his eyes fixed on the hole in the tower as he tried to regain control. Through the cloud of ash, he could see Aether raging, orange, red, pink, a veritable rainbow of colors. Had the fight started already? If so, he couldn't waste any more time. He was close enough now, after all. Gemini World! Ruth slapped a flying chunk of rock out of the air in the moment before it would have smashed into her skull. The room had become crowded very quickly. In an instant, Cott had burst out of the jellyfish thing he'd been trapped in, and now he wasn't alone. Including the original, there were now 5 copies of the young man, each utterly identical. They didn't wait even a moment. How did they know the original's among them, then, if they're all identical?
Well, they assume there was one, and now there's 4 more, so they assume the original is among them. It's an assumption.
I'm noting that down in my author judgment book.
What? Why would they automatically go, oh, he must have vanished and now teleported 5 other guys in there?
Because he's been using dummies thus far. Why would he bring himself in there?
Well, they're wrong anyway, so you're right to question it.
Including the original, there were now 5.
Oh, wait! Yeah.
Yes, I think that was the confusion. You meant deceit.
Yeah, the original the others came
I
out.
thought you meant the original cot, and I was like having a moment. Like, remember back in early podcasts when they mentioned Kane had like dimensional rifts or something, and you were like, "How do they know they're dimensional rifts?" I was like, "How do they know one of these is the original?" But that's what you meant.
So he was trying to be
okay. I was trying to be an archivist, actually. They didn't wait. You know what, Tan? Pausing to say I'm sorry.
Thank you.
No problem. They didn't wait even a moment. The cots scattered, each charging towards the other people in the room with obvious hostile intent. In the confusion, all they could do was defend themselves as best they could. One cot flew leisurely through the air towards Ruth, his orange eyes, blazing like miniature suns, fixed straight on her. Out of curiosity... Why is that what he's saying as he charges her? What? And hold on, I'm confused. Oh, he's not charging her, he's just coming towards her. Sorry. Are you there?
Yeah.
Huh. Out of curiosity, he said as he came within speaking distance, what is the purpose of your armor? Is it solely a defensive measure? What other benefits does it grant you? Is it the only set of armor you have, or do you have more? If so, I'm gonna guess that's curiosity. Ruth kept her claws up.
How good you know?
Ruth kept her claws up, ignoring the continued rambling of the cot. She had to get her bearings before anyone else. She and Serena had been separated in the explosion and the resultant chaos, same with Rico. Why is it you're here with Jakob Delced? Asked the cot. Are you allies of convenience or close friends? Perhaps I've misinterpreted things and you don't actually know each other. How long have you known them? When did you first meet? The young girl who had been commanding the jellyfish was unconscious not far away, lying flat on her face. Some of the debris must have hit her when the jellyfish had exploded. She wasn't moving, save for very shallow breathing. Ruth clicked her tongue. She'd been hoping to make a tactical retreat, but she couldn't very well leave a kid like that in danger, could she? Why is it you're ignoring me? Are you afraid that my ability is connected to my questioning? Are you that cautious of a person? How cautious would you say you are on a scale of 1 to 10? What kind of past experiences would you say led to that? To hell with it. She'd never been the type to run away. Ruth turned her body fully to face the incoming threat. Why did your body language change? Have you come to some sort of decision in your head? What kind of decision have you made? Ruth grinned, red aether coiling around her skeletal claws. Yeah, I decided I'm gonna kick your ass! The cock cocked his head, face as expressionless as ever. The light from his eyes was so bright that Ruth almost had to squint to look at him. Okay, he said. Die then! The orange glow burst forth from his sockets as twin beams, carving through the space Ruth had just been occupying. If she hadn't rolled the dodge, she was sure that attack would have brought her to her knees. Oh, thank God, Ruth's been playing Elden Ring. Spinning on the spot to avoid another eye-beam, Ruth continued to charge. The great thing about an asshole like Cotdell said was that a dozen people could have revenge on him at once. Hey! Roy asked, cleaning out his finger with one finger. His ear with one finger, rather. Why the hell are we fighting, guy? If this is about money, I could just transfer you some. You don't gotta get your face smashed in. He stood on a mountain of debris, the remnant of the floor that had collapsed under him. He and his enemy, one of these orange-haired clones that had appeared, stood across from each other. Red emergency lights danced dangerously across the blade of the rapier Roy's adversary was holding up. They'd landed in some kind of maintenance chamber below the control center, so the only light sources were those red bulbs and the glow pouring from the hole in the ceiling. The young man chuckled. The value of the coin is the value of the hand that holds it, he drawled, gesticulating flamboyantly with one hand as he spoke. Are you familiar? Is this introspection? Or maybe philosophy?
Perhaps we'll know more in a moment.
Roy frowned. What now? I didn't expect you would be. To be blunt, you seem something of an ignoramus. Oh, Lord. Oh, no! The young man smirked as he strode through the room, slowly circling Roy's elevated position. It's a quotation from the novelist Joan Maldrick. You haven't read her? Can't say I have, Roy tracked the boy with his eyes, cracking his knuckles as he prepared for combat. Doesn't sound like my kind of thing. I'd agree with you there, the boy laughed, putting a hand to his chest. Oh, but where are my manners? I was about to slay you without even letting you know the identity of your undoing. My name is Arrogant Centurion, but personally I prefer to be called Confidence. It lacks the unfortunate negative connotation. Wouldn't you agree? Funny, Roy sniffed, lime-colored aether already brewing around his forearms. I was thinking it fits you pretty well. Arrogance frowned, orange aether focusing around the tip of his rapier. Your limited understanding may only barely scrape the surface. he said, annoyance evident in his tone. But as director Alan Corloon said, there can be wisdom in the rambling of beasts as well. For instance, let's see your take on the slaughterhouse. It's just so camp. I love it. Well, that was an opener if Roy ever heard one. His grin widening, he thrust his hands out in front of him, palms wide open. Lime aether burst forth from his skin, radiating out in front of him in an aurora of light. Save the day! He wondered what he'd managed to roll today. Ooh, another 2-star! Not what I was looking for. Rico coughed violently, hacking up swallowed spittle as he picked himself up. What had happened? They'd spotted Cottonside in Midnight Disobedience, he'd spotted them, and then the whole place had exploded. All he could see around him was dust and ash, swirling through the air like a heavy fog. He could hear sounds of violence in the distance, fists and weapons clashing against flesh and metal. Ruth! Oh, Ruth! He called out, fumbling for names. Keiko! Ruth's friend? The answer didn't come in words as such. Instead, Ruth's friend, Serena, that was her name, came leaping out of the smog, narrowly avoiding a hefty swing from a black and red mace. She landed next to Rico, her feet kicking up sparks on the ground as she came to a halt. What's going on? Rico asked, like a dumbass. Fighting! Was the only reply. High-pitched laughter rang out from within the fog, and a second later, Serena's pursuer came forth too. In terms of appearance, they were mostly identical to the original Cottage scene, with the exception of the wide smile on his face. This is definitely sadism. It was so huge, Rico could even see cracks forming on the young man's cheeks. Hey, hey! He was cheerfully calling out even as he swung his mace. Hey, it's me, Serena! Do you remember? It's me, Joy! It's been way too long! Hi! Serena ignored the greetings, instead continuing to swing the metal sword in her hand to block and parry every attempted blow. Even more sparks rained down from every clash, smoke drifting up from where they landed. She was doing well, but the force of those mace swings was enormous. It would only take one mistake to be crushed by that thing. Rico clenched his fists. He'd come too far just to sit down and watch now. Popcorn.
Deceit smiled thinly as he watched the chaos ensue down below. In all the destruction, he'd managed to climb up the shattered infrastructure and make his way to a balcony overlooking the room. Through the smog below, he could only see the occasional flares of aether as a sign of combat, but still, best seat in the house. There was no way they could have known, but it was a mistake to think that only the source cot was capable of splitting himself using monophobia. In this case, the original had split a number of his own aspects into a single body, allowing Deceit to act as something of a troop carrier and bring them all here. He vaguely reached out in his head.
Oh, so he's also like a Trojan horse, which is very fitting for Deceit.
Well, any of them can do it, but Deceit was like, because Deceit's got like good head on his shoulders.
But he has to like shove them in them first. Yeah. It wasn't like these brought forth from Deceit's own personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
He vaguely reached out in his head for that urge to betray Cottage experience, but it was nowhere to be found. Guess that really had been coming from arrogance then. His eyes scanned over the debris below. Nobody was launching attacks at him, so it was safe to say he'd slipped out undetected. Well, no point in sticking around. He wasn't much of a fighter after all. Deceit went to turn. Gemini shot.
Oh no! No! You fool!
If Deceit hadn't chosen that very moment to turn around, he was certain his body would have been destroyed by the light that slammed into him. Instead, it struck his left hand, shattering his fingers into scraps of wood and leaving him with little more than a useless, smoking stump. He raised an eyebrow at the ruined limb before glancing up at the white-haired boy who'd fired the attack. Oh, he said lightly, recognising him from Ruthlessness' memories. You're Jacob's friend. The Conscience narrowed his eyes. Who? Never mind. Deceit chuckled, turning fully to his opponent. I guess we're fighting then? It caused that explosion to open up an exit for himself, but it seemed to open up an entrance for this bastard in the process. How annoying. Well, it didn't take much to correct the issue anyway. The light of that attack, Gemini's shotgun, flared again over the Conscience's shoulders. How cute. He actually thought he'd get to attack here. Down, Deceit snapped. The entirety of an encyclopedia packed into the word. Dragan's brain exploded into pain as intolerable amounts of information flowed into his mind. A yelp of pain escaping his lips, he collapsed to his knees, barely even noticing the throwing knife that thudded into the joint of his arm. His archive was like a melting skyscraper as he attempted to organise and sort through all the data he'd just received.
Oh my god, he just pulled a fucking Halloween from Chainsaw Man.
His eyes twitched and blinked chaotically. His limbs wouldn't move as he wanted them to. Nausea swirled through the back of his throat. Above him, the cop variant smirked.
Oh wait, this is like an ability that directly counters cogitance, because they
Exactly,
can like try to process everything. Damn.
That's the thing with you cogitants, he said smugly. It's like the old story about vampires, how they have to count every grain of rice if they find it on the ground. If I pump a whole load of data into your head, you can't help but analyse it all right there and then. It's hilarious. Dragon's thief chatted so hard they hurt, but he still forced out words. Fuck you! The cart ignored the taunts. I don't get to do this often, you know, but I really do enjoy this. He crouched down to be at eye level with the prone Dragon. I don't know how much Bruno and Serena have told you about their life, he said quietly, so I'll enlighten you. The place we grew up in, was a research facility to try and get us crownless to match the mental abilities of you cogitant using mundane means. I don't think I have to tell you just how unpleasant mundane means can be. So, as I'm sure you understand, seeing a blue-eyed bastard like you writhing on the floor, he grinned wickedly. There's nothing better in the world.
Oh, this might explain why Bruno wasn't a fan either, huh?
Yeah.
Damn. Stupid cogitants! I have a question for you, Tan, and the viewers. Do you support racism against cogitants?
Even though Dragon is annoying, I do not.
Okay, that's very bold of you, and I
Very
respect
brave.
that you were so good. That's a very brave opinion.
Thank you.
I mean, in a world where constantly Dragon, it's assumed he can hack. I just, it's hard.
In the final chapter, it will be revealed that Ruth can hack the database. And she could.
Yeah, she's like, I never wanted to tell you guys this because I'm repugnant, and I thought
No
you'd
one
laugh
asked
at
me
me,
to.
but I can hack. Yeah, actually, I fucking. She puts on like a black hat. She's like, I'm a black hat hacker.
I'm famous on the internet.
Actually, that would be a funny armor set. I don't know if you know about like black hat, white hat, but she has like an armor that's just a black hat that makes her good at hacking. That'd be
In
fun.
10 years' time, when it's like gone through one peacetime, she's got like 50 armor sets.
Yeah, oh my god, dude. She's got to collect them all. I want to see what... I want her to have an armor set that's just Smo's armor set from Dark Souls. Just super fucking big. Like her mecha suit. Well, that was a good chapter. I'm very excited and eager to see Dragon die. So that Musashi can become the main character. But anything else for this week before we close off?
I don't believe so.
Alright, we'll see you guys later then.
Bye!